morning, Blue Dragons. The wind is our friend. In the Tibetan language, the word for wind is lung. Lung! Isn't that fascinating? So, wind is the cause of 100 diseases. We have wind cold and wind damp and wind heat and dry wind, and all these things penetrate. So, even though the wind is our friend, we don't want to expose ourselves. So we're between the water and the trees. And Master Lee said the best place to do Qigong is between the water and the trees. And it took me 10 years to figure out what that meant. 80% of the oxygen on the planet comes from evaporated seawater. So in the morning, there's the dew. So as the water evaporates from the lakes and the rivers, that's pure oxygen. And at night, the trees give off oxygen and take in carbon dioxide, which we give off. So in the lack of planetary wisdom, if we cut down all the trees, what happens to the carbon dioxide? It causes a problem. So we need more trees to create that balance, but yet they want to cut them down because we need more toilet paper. Okay, so welcome to the next iteration of the Blue Dragon Qigong Academy. So today we're going to do a deeper dive on some of the basic concepts. Now, because it's windy, it's going to be hard to feel your balls of chi. So we're going to create some friction. Gotta create some friction. There we go. Now, there are 6 senses. What are the 6 senses? The nose, the eyes, the thought, the hearing, the taste, and the touch. Those are the 6 senses. So we're going to generate some chi because it's windy. It's super, super windy. It's like 23-mile-an-hour winds. We're going to generate some chi to create some heat on the inside. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the edge of the hand and come down the bridge of the nose 16 times. Yes, so I'm going to have to do the same thing. Yeah, you're going to have to take them off. You're gonna have to take them off. There you go. So we do that 16 times. Now we have 3 sets of sinuses. We have the maxillary sinus, we have the nasal sinus, and then we have the frontal sinuses, okay? So we're going to use our index finger to find the hollow on the face, which is where the maxillary sinus is. And then with the middle finger, we're going to go halfway up the nose where the nasal sinus is. And we're going to do 16 circles for the nasal sinus. Okay, so that's 16. Now, the next one is the eyeballs. So again, we're going to generate some heat, create some friction, and then you're going to palm your eye. We hold that for about 10 seconds. Now we're going to do it one more time because I don't think we can really generate enough heat because it is kind of windy. There we go. Okay, now I feel the heat. So 4 complete breaths. In and out is 1 breath, so 4 complete breaths is just about 10 seconds. Okay, now we're going to do 6 acupressure points around the eye. So the interior upper border of the eye socket, the center, the outer border, the lower border, and then the lower inner border. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 points around the eye. Now at the same time we're doing the 5 points around the eye, we're also pinching the eyebrow. So we do the outer corner of the eyebrow, the center of the eyebrow, and the inner corner of the eyebrow, because those are the frontal sinuses. So with your thumb, you're going to go in the upper inner border of the eye socket, and you're going to pinch the inner border of the eyebrow, and we're going to hold that for about 10 seconds. Like I said, in and out 4 times is about 10 seconds. Okay, now we're going to go to the center of the upper border of the eye socket, the center of the eyebrow, and we're going to pinch that and hold that for about 10 seconds. Now it should be tender. You should feel a little bit of tenderness. Now we're going to go in the outer border of the eye socket. You're pinching. You're pinching the bone, yes. You're absolutely pinching the bone. So now we go in the inner corner, the outer corner, and the outer eyebrow. And you're going to pinch and hold for about 10 seconds. Now with your index finger, you're going to press down on the lower border of the eye socket. This is the point for eye fatigue. So if you're up late working on the computer or watching YouTube videos, so you're going to press down and in, okay? And you're going to hold that for about 10 seconds. It looks funny because it looks like your eyeball's about to pop out of your head. And now you're going to press on the tear duct. That's the lower inner border. Now when I was a kid and I would eat a big bowl of ice cream at bedtime, the next morning my eyes would be crusted shut. And that's what we call eye mucus, or if it's dried, we'd call it sleep. And you'd have to rub your eyes in the morning. So the body has a way of cleaning out the blood vessels that go to the eye. Who taught us that? Okay, so now we are complete with the eye. So the next thing is thought. Now, the brain, if we did a cross section of the brain and we split it sideways, where the two brains meet is a point on the side of the head that we call the temporal lobe. And you're going to do friction along the side of the head, which creates blood flow. The friction creates a magnet to bring blood flow to the side of your head. Yeah. And it doesn't matter what you're wearing or not wearing, okay? Okay, now, the center of the skull is called the cranial suture. And so we're going to tap the center line because that's where the cranial pump is that manufactures cerebrospinal fluid that lubricates the brain and the eyeballs. Now, the base of the skull, the ridge of the skull, is called the occipital ridge. It is a bone, but there's a muscle that is attached to that bone. That muscle is called the trapezius. And then there's another muscle called the sternocleidomastoid. So the trapezius and the sternocleidoid attach along the base of the skull that we call the occipital ridge. Now in the center, where the spine is, above C1, the first cervical, there's something called the brain stem. And at the top of the brain stem is the pineal gland. So if we tap the base of the skull and the center of the neck, we're going to create an internal vibration of the brainstem that actually moves the pineal gland. And we do that for about 10 seconds. Now, there's a lot of confusion as to what is your third eye. Now, a lot of people think the pituitary is the third eye. A lot of people think the pituitary is the pineal. But I'm here to give you the science. There is 2 optical nerves that do not connect to an organ. So the third eye is where those 2 visual nerves end, but there's no organ attached to it. And they end right next to the pineal. So the first 30 minutes when the sun comes up, if you do sun gazing, the sun penetrates through your regular eyeballs and goes past it to the pineal, because the pineal only has one job, which is to secrete melatonin, which regulates your sleep and wake cycles. And if you do it again at sunset, the last 30 minutes before the sun goes down, then the sun penetrates and goes into the pineal. Now, there's an African proverb: he who does not see the sun rise and set has a very short life. Whoa! Now, if we take that saying and apply it to traditional Chinese medicine, or more properly, ancient Egyptian medicine, then you have to do the sunrise and sunset in order for the sun to penetrate into your pineal to regulate your sleep-wake cycle. What? That's not written in any book. So this is proprietary information only for the Blue Dragon Academy members, okay? Now, as I said before, the pituitary is directly behind this frontal bone. You can shut off the music, thank you. And the pituitary sits in a little cup. That cup is lubricated by cerebrospinal fluid. Now, why do we call this the temple? Does anyone know? Nobody knows. This is called the temple because this is the house of the soul. The soul lives in the temple. Dun, dun, dun. So, if you put your thumbs on your temple and you just do a slight push, you'll see that it gives. There's some movement in there. Now, if you take these 3 fingers and pull apart your forehead, you literally flood the cup that is holding the pituitary. The pituitary manufactures 9 different hormones. 9 hormones. Did they teach us 9 hormones? They taught us like 6 hormones. So when the pituitary and the pineal communicate with each other, and by massaging the forehead and the temple and getting that fluid, they talk to each other. Now, we're going to imagine that the pituitary is the husband and the pineal is the wife. Now, we know the husband can do everything. But when the wife gets involved with the husband, it's way better. He does a much better job when he's pushed by the wife. So our objective is to connect the pineal, the pituitary, the cranial pump, which secretes the cerebrospinal fluid, and create friction, which draws more blood to the brain. Now, Western medicine says there's 5 senses. Everybody knows there's 6 senses. Why doesn't Western medicine acknowledge the 6th sense? Because they cannot quantify it. They cannot extrapolate it. They cannot measure it. And therefore, we're going to pretend it doesn't exist, because we can't measure your 6th sense. Whoa. That's not good. That's not science even. Okay? So, those are the 6 senses. So now we've done thought. So we have 3 more. What's left? Hearing, taste, and touch. Okay, now, this one is the most interesting. The ears are like sonar, sonar, radar, and it kind of funnels sound into the ear canal, which translates it into a wave that goes into your blood, and your brain can retain 10,000 sounds. And 10,000 smells, by the way. Your brain can retain 10,000 sounds and 10,000 smells. So this external ear funnels, okay? Now, there's 60 acupuncture points on your ear that connect internally. So the lobe of your ear represents your face. The hollow above the lobe represents your chest cavity. Then there's a little lip, and there's another hollow that represents your abdominal cavity. And then there's another little lip, and there's another hollow called the triangular fossa, which represents your pelvic cavity. So in the outer portion of the ear, we have the head and the face, the chest, the abdominal, and the pelvic. Kind of sounds like Jing, Qi, Shen, doesn't it? Okay, now, the outer edge of the ear is called the auricle, A-U-R-I-C-L-E, but in ancient times they had the oracle, O-R-A-C-L-E. And what was the purpose of the oracle? Was to give you secret information from the divination. So if you were a king or a general or whatever, and you're like, should I go left, should I go right, should I attack, should I circle, what should I do? And they would go to the oracle, who would then do this divination and then give the information to the king or the general or whoever paid him. However, if we meditate on a regular basis at sunrise and sunset while we're sun gazing and we're still, we will hear the voice of the divine within in our own temple. Whoa! Again, not written in any book. So, we're going to massage the auricle, which is your hands, arms, fingers, shoulder, and neck. So as we massage down the edge of the ear, we're literally massaging our own arms. Okay, we can put our glasses and our hats back on if you so desire. So, we're going to start with creating friction, and then we're going to cover the ear for about 10 seconds. So the center of the palm is called Lao Gong, and when we create friction, then we create heat, which actually penetrates the ear. Now we're going to do that a second time, and this time we're going to bend the ears forward, and we're going to cover the ears from the back. Now what that does is it increases blood flow to the ear. Now we're going to grab the lobe of the ear and we're going to pull down and away from the face 30 times. So by pinching the lobe of the ear, we get blood to go to the face, the eyes, the nose, the teeth, the mouth, the lips, the throat. All that happens when we pinch the lobe of the ear. Now, using your index finger, you're going to press into that little hollow. Now, ladies have fingernails, so they're going to have to do it sideways, but guys, they can just do it straight on. And again, 30 circles forward. Okay, then there's a little lip and there's another little hollow, and we're going to go back and forth 30 times right there. And then there's another little lip and another hollow, and we're going to do 30 circles there. So in the pelvic cavity is the ovaries and the fallopian tubes and the birth chamber. So any ladies who have menstrual, oh, and the testicles as well, the scrotal sac. So anybody who has any type of external genitalia issues, external or internal genitalia issues, this is how we treat it without drugs. Now, at the very top of the ear is what point, Catherine? The allergy point. And now we're going to massage from the allergy point down the edge of the ear. We're going to do that 10 times. Because we're doing front and back at the same time. That's the tragus. That's coming up. Okay, so that's 10 times. Now, the back of the ear is the back of the spine. So we're going to go up the back of the ear 10 times. Now, a lot of people are not intimately connected to their bodies. A lot of people are not dexterous. They don't have the dexterity of using their fingers on their face. But my position is, if God made you and He gave you 10 fingers, you should use them. Use those 10 fingers. Now, there is a natural curve in the front of the ear. So there's a flap that covers the ear hole. That's called the tragus. Opposite that is called the antitragus. That happens to be the brain point. So there's a little nipple at the top of the lobe, which represents the brain. So we're going to pinch the brain point 10 times. And if you have to take a test or an interview or anything where you have to communicate in an unfamiliar situation, you better press that puppy about 60 times.
So the lobe, are we pressing the lobe? Or
You're pressing the nipple at the top of the lobe. Okay, see this little nipple right here? That's what you're pressing. Okay? Right there.
Oh, right there.
Okay? No, this is it right here. This is the tragus. That's the antitragus.
This or that?
This is the nipple. This is the antitragus. This is the tragus.
Oh.
This is the brain point. This is hunger and thirst.
Oh.
Okay, so this is the antitragus. That's the brain point. And this is the tragus, which is hunger and thirst. And they're directly opposite each other. Okay? Isn't that amazing?
You mean if you press that, you won't be hungry?
That's exactly what that means. So when you get hungry, if you pinch pull that about 60 times, your hunger goes. Okay? Did I teach you that? Yeah, I did. A couple of times. A couple of hundred times. There's a lot of stuff going on with your ears. Exactly. Now, there's a natural curve to the ear, and that represents the spine. So we have the tragus, the intertragic notch, the antitragus, and then we have that natural curve, and there's this flat part, which is the anti-auricle, which is the low back, legs, knees, and feet. So we're just going to massage straight up. We're gonna massage straight up 10 times. Okay, so that's the spine. I'm going to come to you. Don't worry. I'm going to come to you.
Okay.
All right? So we're going to come right up. Okay, you see that? Okay. Now, this whole thing, well, we're not finished yet. But once I learned the internal Qigong, the very next thing Master Li taught me was this. And then he said, well, I actually should have taught you this first. Because when you wake up in the morning, how's your blood flowing? Slow. And how's your brain activity? Slow. So if we do this before we get out of bed, it's like drinking a cup of coffee. And how do I get out of bed every morning? I literally jump out of bed. I mean, I literally... And she's like, how do you do that? I literally... Dun, 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 dun. Where's the tiger? Let me grab that tiger. So this is what happens when you do this every day. It just kicks right in. It's like 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. Yes, and we do both sides of that, and you do that 10 times. Okay? Now, I wrote a book on this 21 years ago. I spent a year traveling around the country teaching this method, and it didn't catch on the way I wanted it to, so I dropped it. So for 10 years, I didn't even teach it anymore. But now, the general public is catching up to me 20 years ago. So I'm breaking it back out. So, cover the ear front, cover the ear back. That's 1. The lobe, 30 times. That's 2. The chest cavity, 30 times. That's 3. Pelvic cavity, 30 times. That's 4. The edge of the ear, 5. Back of the ear, 6. Front of the ear, 7. And pinch pull the tragus 10 times. That's 8. So that's 8 parts to the ear. Now, all the blood going to your ear is connected to the root. Now, what's at the root is the cerebellum. The cerebellum is the visual spatial muscle cortex of the brain. And the part of the brain that does hearing is connected to the pineal. So here's the pineal, and here's the hearing right around the pineal. I hear voices telling me what to do. A little voice told me I should go to Aruba and propose to my wife. A little voice told me. Okay? Where is that voice? It's around the damn pineal. Okay? So now we have taste. Now, where is the root of the tongue? Where is the tongue connected to? The root of the tongue is connected to the cerebellum, the same visual spatial muscle cortex of the brain. The tongue is a muscle. The tongue is the strongest muscle in your body. The tongue muscle is stronger than your leg muscle. And I won't go any deeper into that right now, but I will let you marinate on that. Okay? Okay, so you just killed a mastodon. How do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
Okay. So that tongue has to suck the meat off the bone. Yeah. You can't not kick an elephant to death, but you sure bite it and swallow it. That's why the tongue is such a strong muscle. Because you got to suck the meat off the bone. You have to suck the marrow out of the bone. Right? And you might have to bite a living animal to stay alive. Yes? Okay. Moving right along. The tongue is connected to this root. So we are going to grab the SCM muscle. This is the SCM muscle. We're going to grab that and pluck that because that is connected to the jaw. All right? So we're going to do that 16 times. Now you know if I pull yours, you're not going to be smiling, right? Not the skin. I don't want you pulling the skin. I want you to hook your thumb in there and like playing a guitar or a harp. Okay? No, you got to do opposite sides because that makes the brain, left and right brain, work better. Okay? Now, we're going to click the teeth 32 times. Why 32 times? Because you got 32 teeth. Each tooth is connected to an acupuncture meridian, and the back of the jaw, there is a nerve and a blood vessel that feeds the pineal. So we call it chewing your cud, but we also, in conversation, we say, well, let's chew that up. Let's get together and have a chat and chew. Let's chew on that for a while. That's exactly what that does. It activates that part of the brain. So that is why you have to chew 32 times. That is why you have to chew 32 times. Okay? So we got that straight? Because chewing activates the meridians and the pineal. Okay? So we're going to click the teeth 32 times. Now, a lot of people have an overbite because the lower jaw can move forward and back unless you have TMJ, temporomandibular joint syndrome, which means that you only chew on one side of your mouth, which tightens that side and the other side is loose. Now, I'm going to go around and I'm going to check all of you. Okay, open your mouth. Okay, you have an overbite. Oh. Yeah, you chew on this side. Oh my God. You have an overbite. Yeah, you chew on this side. Yeah, you have an overbite too. Yes, you got an overbite too. So everybody here is not chewing properly and most of them have overbites.
We're overachievers.
Okay, or overdoers, over-analyzers.
Analyzers.
So, did we click the teeth? No, we haven't gotten to that. So let's click the teeth 32 times. Okay, that's 32. Now you're going to open your jaw. You're going to stick your index finger under the ear. So when you open your jaw, there's going to be a little hollow. And then with your middle finger, you're going to put it next to the tragus. Okay. Now we're going to do 8 rotations. Where's your middle finger?
Oh,
Middle finger's here.
oh, right there?
Yeah. Open. Now close. Yeah, open. Ah, okay. Middle finger is here. Open, close. Open, close. You feel it? No. Open, close. Close. Ah, now you feel it. Yeah, you got it. You got it. All right. So when you close, you feel it closing on your finger. Now we're going to do 8 rotations this way and then 8 rotations that way. You're going to look like a camel. Open it. Open it all the way. Okay, that's 8. Now reverse.
Oh, it's hard to go that way.
So if it's hard to do one way, and I see some people doing this and not the complete circle. So that means that there's work that you have to get done, okay? So if the jaw is not loose, if the jaw is jammed up, then you cannot feed your pineal. And you will not be able to think properly. And you get stuck in your ways. Not kosher, right? We don't want to be stuck in a particular way of thinking. We want to transform our operating system to unconditional love. And you have to have unconditional love of self in order to unconditionally love other people. Comprende? Okay. So what's left now is taste. Well, we started. We did the plucking. We did the clicking. Now you have to use the tongue. Outside upper, outside lower, inside upper. So outer, outer, inner, inner. So we're going to do this thing with the tongue. Eight times. Now, you have a little saliva in your mouth? Swallow that. So Master Lee said swallowing your saliva is like swallowing gold. So I'm like, saliva is gold? Can I spend it? What does that mean? And again, 10 years later, saliva contains digestive enzymes. So if you generate digestive enzymes, because the Chinese didn't have health food stores, they couldn't buy probiotics. They couldn't go buy the stuff. So they could only eat grew within 4 miles of where they lived. That was their region of accessibility. And what we find out is that minerals are distributed unequally in a field. So let's say you had a field of spinach. Spinach is high in iron. But if the iron is all in this corner and not equally distributed, then how's the spinach going to get the iron? If it's not in the soil, it can't be in the food. That's why you have to eat a variety of leafy greens in order to get a variety of minerals. Stress leaches minerals out of the body. How do you replace the minerals? You have to drink herbal tonics. And that's the course for another day. So, pluck, click, click, and then your tongue, and that's how we get taste. Now, what is flavor? Sabor.
Sabor, yeah.
What is sabor? It's the smell plus the taste.
What's the word?
Flavor. What is flavor? Smell plus taste. Right? Because when you chew something, aren't you smelling from the inside? As you chew something, you're releasing an odor, a fragrance. Okay, why are you looking at me like I have 3 heads? You've been eating your whole life and you don't know what flavor is. Okay, so how many flavors are there?
32.
How many flavors are there? Salt, sweet, sour, bitter, and pungent. Now, what are the most two? What are the most two favorite flavors? Sweet and bitter. Sweet and bitter. Because you have to go get salt. Okay? But what things are naturally salty? Seaweed is naturally salty. But if you don't live near the sea, you can't get any seaweed, right? So therefore we have to seek out fruits that are high in vitamin C, and typically that's a sweet fruit. So we're looking for something sweet. So we're hardwired, because human beings are the only mammals that cannot produce vitamin C. We have to get vitamin C from fruits. So sweet and bitter are the 2 most important flavors. Guess what they discovered in 2019? Inside your heart, they have taste buds for sweet and bitter. Guess what chocolate is? Bitter. Chocolate's not naturally sweet. You got to add sugar to it. Chocolate is bitter. Guess what coffee is? Bitter. What's our favorite? Chocolate and coffee. And then we add sugar to that. Sweet and bitter. Okay. So now we've gone through the 6 senses. Now we're running out of time. We didn't do any dances. We're about to do some dances? Okay. So next time we'll cover this. We'll cover body drumming next class. All right. So hit it, maestro.
Drum up your chi. Qigong drumming.
Drum up your chi. Qigong drumming. Drum up your chi. Qigong drumming. Qigong drumming. Drum up your chi. Qigong drumming. Drum up your chi. Qigong drumming. So we're going to go through plucking the thyroid. We're going to go through the pancreas poke. We're going to go through gonad bump, bang your hip bones. We're going to go through pluck your thyroid. We're going to go through
Drum your lungs side to side.
drum your lungs side to side. Qigong side to side. Qigong side to side.
Now
Drum your lungs side to side. Drum your lungs side to side. Qigong side to side. Qigong side to side.
drum your kidneys
Side to side. Drum your kidneys and your adrenals.
Qigong side to
Side. Qigong side to side.
Now
Drum your kidneys side to side. Drum your kidneys side to side. Qigong side to side. Qigong side to side.
Now drum your chest, thigh to stomp.
Drum your chest, thigh to stomp.
Qigong side to side.
Qigong side to side.
Now drum your thymus,
Thigh to stomp.
Drum your thymus,
Thigh to stomp.
Qigong side to side.
Qigong side to side.
Now drum your sacrum side to side.
Sacral pump side to side. Qigong side to side. Qigong side to side.
Now drum your sacrum,
Sacral pump.
drum your sacrum.
Sacral pump. Qigong side to side. Qigong side to side.
Now drum up your arms, drum down your arms. Drum up your arms, drum down your arms. Drum up your arms, drum down your arms. Switch arms, drum up your arms, drum down your arms. Now drum your legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, drum your legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, drum your legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, switch your legs. Now drum your legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, drum your legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, drum your legs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now drum your heart, drum your lungs, drum your heart, drum your lungs. Qigong. Qigong side to side. Now drum your heart, drum your lungs. Drum your heart, drum your lungs. Qigong side to side. Qigong side to side. Now slap your liver on the right. Slap your spleen on the left. Slap your liver on the right. Slap your spleen on the left. Drum your liver, drum your spleen. Drum your liver, drum your spleen. Drum your liver, drum your spleen. Qigong side to side. Now drum your belly side to side. Drum your belly side to side. Drum your belly side to side. Old age, sickness, suffering, and death. Old age, sickness, suffering, and death. Prevention is the only cure. Qigong cultivates my breath to live a drug-free life and more. Asthma, allergies, diabetes, heart disease. Qigong is the only cure. Qigong lifestyle is for me, so I can be pain-free and do more. Old age, sickness, suffering, and death. Prevention is the only cure. Qigong cultivates my breath to live a drug-free life and more.
Asthma, allergies, diabetes, heart disease.
Qigong is the only cure. Qigong lifestyle is for me,
So I can be pain-free and do more. Fuck your thyroid side to side. Fuck your thyroid side to side. Qigong side to side. Qigong side to side. Fuck the thyroid side to side. Fuck the thyroid side to side. Qigong side to side. Qigong side to side. Now pancreas poke side to side. Pancreas poke side to side. Qigong side to side. Qigong side to side. Now gonad bump side to side. Gonad bump side to side. Qigong side to side. Qigong side to side. Now make little hammers at your fingertips. Pineal push side to side. Pineal push side to side. Qigong side to side. Push thumbs on your temples. Pull up on your forehead. Pituitary pull side to side. Pituitary pull side to side. Qigong side to side. Now cranial tap side to side. Cranial tap side to side. Qigong side to side. Now memory brush side to side. Memory brush side to side. Qigong side to side. Qigong side to side. Now you just went to Qigong school so you could learn a healing tool. Asthma, allergies, diabetes, heart disease. No, advance. Advance.
3 treasures dance.
Yeah, that's it. 3 treasures dance.
3 treasures dance. Jing bounce, Qi twist, and Shen lift. Jing bounce, Jing bounce, Jing bounce, Jing bounce. J to the I to the N to the G. Jing bounce, bounce, Jing.
Jing, bounce.
Extend your arm, twist your wrist.
Extend your arm and twist your wrist. Extend your arm and twist your wrist. Extend your arm and twist your wrist.
Jing,
Bounce, jing, bounce, jing, bounce, jing, bounce.
bounce, jing, bounce to the jing, bounce to the jing, bounce to the jing.
Okay, now we're gonna step to the side and turn.
Qi twist,
Qi twist.
Qi twist, Qi twist. Back step left, twist to the right.
Back step right, twist to the left. Back step right,
Twist to the right.
back step right, twist to the left.
Qi
Twist.
Qi twist, Qi twist, Qi twist. Liver stretch, Qi twist. Liver stretch, Qi twist. Qi twist. Liver stretch, Qi twist. Liver stretch. Speed it up. Bounce, Qi, bounce, Qi, bounce, Qi, bounce, Qi, Qi, twist, Qi, twist, Qi, twist, Qi, twist. Shen, lift.
Okay.
Shen,
Put your drama in a bucket.
Shen,
Scoop up the bucket. Throw the drama over your head.
over your head. Scoop up the water with the bucket.
And throw the water over your head. Pick up the drama. Throw out the water. Pick up the bucket. Throw down the drama.
Put down your bucket. Put down your drama. Put down your drama.
Go tell your mama.
Ain't nobody
Got time for this? I get rid of my ish. Put down the bucket. Put down the drama. Tell your mama.
Chi, twist.
My issues in my tissues. Ain't nobody got time for this. I get rid of my ish.
Back step left, twist to the right. Back step right, twist to the left. Chi, twist.
Chi, twist. There you go. You got it now.
Twist, liver, stretch. Chi,
All right,
twist,
Butch, look
stretch
out.
Liver, twist, stretch liver. Twist,
We going clubbing this weekend, Butch. You and me.
liver, stretch. Twist,
We going
liver,
clubbing.
stretch. Bounce for Jane. Jane, bounce. Bounce for Jane. Jane,
Okay,
bounce.
now we're gonna go back to the Jing bounce.
Jane, bounce. Jane, bounce. Bang your heels on the ground. Up on your toes. Bang your heels. Drop your shoulders. Drop your shoulders. Bang your heels. Drop your shoulders. Loosen your neck. Twist your head. Loosen your neck. Twist your head. Flop your hands. Flop your arms.
Now bounce.
Your body. Shake your body.
Do the bobblehead. Drop your shoulders. Okay, bang your heels on the ground.
Let it flow. Your chi knows where to
Go.
go. Let it flow. Let it flow.
Your chi knows where to go. The three treasures dance.
Bounce, Jing, bounce. Three treasures dance. Jing bounce, Chi twist, and Shen lift.
You like that, huh? Well, 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 well.
Qigong in your game.
Put Qigong in your game. Is your life the same? Is your life the same? Is your life the same?
Even though my life
There
is
you have it.
fast, Qigong makes
Living
me flow,
testimonials.
relax.
Qigong changed
Give
their
your
lives,
energy a chance.
and it's changing
Express
yours
Qigong
too.
Through your dance. Put your hands on your hips. Put your hands on your hips, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Qigong. Now hula to the left, side to side. Hula to the left, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now hula to the right, side to side. Hula to the right, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now bend your knees and dip, spank, dip, spank, dip, spank, dip, spank, dip, spank. Now roller skate. Qigong, now roller skate. Qigong, now roller skate. Qigong, now roller skate.
Dip your hip.
Dip, spank, dip, spank, dip, spank, dip, spank. Now backward skate. Qigong, now backward skate. Qigong, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now Harlem shake to the front. Harlem shake to the front. Qigong, now Harlem shake to the front. Harlem shake to the front. Qigong, now Harlem shake to the front. Qigong, now Harlem shake to the rear. Harlem shake to the rear. Harlem shake to the rear. Now hands to the side.
Get it.
Arms to the sides. And bounce now, arms to the sides. And bounce now, arms to the sides. Now bounce now, fly to the sky. Qigong now, fly to the sky. Qigong now, fly to the sky. Now open your heart, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now open your heart, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now open your heart, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now open your heart, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now lift your lungs, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now lift your lungs, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now lift your lungs, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now loosen your liver, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now loosen your liver, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now loosen your liver, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now loosen your liver, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now rub your belly.
Love your belly.
Qigong, side to side. Now rub your belly.
Love your belly.
Qigong, side side to side. Now rub your belly.
Love your belly.
Qigong, side to side. Now rub your belly.
Love your belly.
Qigong, side to side. Now bend from the waist, side to side.
Ball of chi in your hands.
Now clean your kidneys, side to side.
Clean your kidneys.
Side to side. Qigong, side to side.
Qigong.
Side to side. Bend from the waist, side to side.
Ball of chi
In your hands, clean your kidneys, side to side.
Clean your kidneys. Side to side.
Qigong, side to side.
You've been warned, you've been told, don't get sick, don't get old.
When you get no sleep,
And do not breathe, it robs you of your energy. Find your joy, find your peace. Qigong, 7 days a week. Put Qigong in your game, and your life will never be the same.
you want to
Make a change in your life. You gotta give up the vice. Give up the coffee, the smoke, the soda, and give up the coke.
We gotta change the way we eat, the way we sleep, and the way we treat each other.
Treat each other.
Qigong.
Qigong.
Make a better life for yourself.
Thank you. I gotta say, I wrote that song 10 years ago, and I sing it every day, and I never get tired of it. Because the philosophy is you're gonna get old, you're gonna get sick, you're gonna suffer, and you're gonna die. And the only way to prevent that from happening is Blue Dragon Qigong. So we want to express our gratitude to all the students who are dedicated to their own growth and healing. And we want to express our gratitude to the Most High, Father, Son, Mother Sky, Grandmother Ocean, and Brother Earth. Thank you for all your gifts and treasures. Today is Friday, Venus's Day, the goddess of love. May the chi that we have created here today open our hearts and our minds to loving ourselves better. Love ourselves better. And that's why I taught you the face, the reverse aging facial and the 6 senses and the limbic system. I taught you that so you could love yourselves better. Repeat after me. Chi. So. Be. It. Thank you. So you already know you have to deepen your practice of Qigong right here. And that's what we're going to be doing for the next 5 weeks. There will not be any YouTube videos posted. It's just going to be you and me